Welcome to Timeball Games. I'm ELD, here to ask you for help in growing the channel. When we reach 2,500 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a custom leather playmat to one lucky subscriber, so be sure to like and subscribe. Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Timeball Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we have Matt with a Gruul Blood Moon list, a green-red Stompy. Talking Chalice of the Void, Blood Moon, Magus of the Moon, really trying to shut down the opponent before they can do anything spicy. And Matt on the other side of the table playing Reanimator, an incredibly fast combo deck. The current iterations of Reanimator have mostly been black-red and about as fast as Reanimator's ever been. Originally, the decks that used Griselbrand that were so much a concern for legacy players that they had to absolutely be aware of how dangerous it was were blue and black, being able to use cards like Brainstorm and Force of Will and Careful Study. Now it is just even faster, playing cards like Dark Ritual and actually making better use of Griselbrand once you actually get him. And here we see mulliganing down to 4 cards once upon a time, leading things off for Stompy. Once upon a time, just a very interesting card to build around. When you've got it in your deck, sideboard considerations become different. Of course, the value of lands and creatures goes way up from your sideboard, so a card like Fairy Macabre might actually get the nod over other graveyard hate. And we've got a Blood Moon, a land grant revealing a Seasoned Pyromancer, which will be coming out on the next turn. Matt, however, has the basic swamp, and his deck does play red, so he very likely will not have mana issues here. We've got a Entomb, the Seasoned Pyromancer coming in, and Griselbrand entering the graveyard, but he's got to pass the turn. A Chalice would be a welcome addition to Matt's board. He uses Once Upon a Time for 2 mana, which is not really where you want to be. That first one is fantastic. The second Once Upon a Time is the fact that you've got to pay for them. Obviously much worse. He plays that City of Traders. And now Animate Dead, bringing back a Griselbrand. Able to pay 7. Now there's no Chalice on the other side, so we could see Lotus Petals and Dark Rituals doing some heavy, heavy damage. Despite this deck being mono red, I'm not going to see any cards like Lightning Bolt, so this life total is going to be pretty stable, especially with a 6/7 lifelink Griselbrand standing in the way. Unmask takes a look at the hand, and now Dark Ritual is enabling a Cabal Therapy. Chancellor Exhume, and that's actually going to bring back a Seasoned Pyromancer and allow Matt to dig, but likely well worth the trade. Would have been better to be able to Animate Dead that Chancellor, but at the end of the day, getting the extra damage on board, totally fine. He can keep back this Griselbrand and chip away, or he can actually just swing all out with both of them, depending. Oh, and now Reclamation Sage, so that's actually a reason why Animate Dead is not as good as Exhume. That enchantment can actually be destroyed, and Reanimator now on its heels, as it's lost its best defender, down to just 6 life. Faithless Looting sees a Reanimate, but not really enough life to bring that back. Could actually hit the Seasoned Pyromancer on the other side of the board. That could be a spicy play. Let's see if he catches that line. And it doesn't look like he caught that. That actually would have been a heck of a line. Seasoned Pyromancer for 3 life. Would have allowed him to discard a couple of cards. Faithless Looting. That is one thing to remember with Reanimate, is just the ease with which you can bring back your opponent's creatures. Of course, Death Shadow players very familiar with that. They very often, and actually Matt has to scoop up here. So Stompy taking down this first game despite a very good start for Reanimator. Death Shadow players very familiar with using Reanimate on opposing creatures. Of course, they have it in there so they can bring back Street Wraiths primarily, losing a ton of life and getting another Delver-style creature on the first turn for only 1 mana. But being able to snag a Gristlebrand is really living the dream, despite the fact that you gain life with it when it hits. You can always get rid of that life very easily by drawing 7 cards, and the deck is very comfortable being able to convert that card advantage as well, running discard and counter spells. So Reanimate, a really powerful legacy card, and I think it actually would have been probably, better than scooping. Let me know what you think about that line. Would you have used Reanimate on that Seasoned Pyromancer? And do you think that would have been enough to find at least a path to stabilize, if not to victory, for Reanimator here? All right, Matt on Reanimator here, considering his hand. And it looks like he's going to be keeping at 6 with the play. Leading out with a Lotus Petal, Unmask, Thoughtseize, hitting himself, and he's got a turn 1 Elish Norn. If Matt doesn't have any responses, Once Upon a Time's going to dig. So this will be a slow clock, but it will keep pretty much everything in Stompy off the board. -2/-2 is pretty difficult to deal with. He's going to have to find a disenchant effect. We saw Reclamation Sage. That is the most likely suspect here in terms of getting out of this situation. Reanimator completely hellbent. Oh, yikes, Karn. Grabbing Ensnaring Bridge. Karn gets cleared. Chalice at 1 and an Ensnaring Bridge. Plenty of mana, so Stompy going to be able to keep dumping cards out of the hand. Once Upon a Time digging, finding an Imperial Recruiter. No mana base to go after here. But that looks like a Phyrexian Metamorph. These Ancient Tombs have done a lot of damage. Imperial Recruiter grabbing that Reclamation Sage. And now, finally, Elish Norn going to the bin. It's funny. I think this, if this is a Phyrexian Metamorph on Elish Norn, that may have been too cutesy a move. It may actually stop this Ensnaring Bridge from serving its purpose. I guess it does its purpose. It's stopping things from attacking. 3 damage coming in. Matt torn in between playing cards from hand or just trying to get the number of creatures that can attack up, though this Serenity now will actually handle the problem. So that's going to take out the Phyrexian Metamorph, the Chalice, and the Ensnaring Bridge. There's a Karn. He is not an artifact. Grabbing Mycosynth Lattice. And putting another Seasoned Pyromancer in there, and Serenity taken out. Oh, so much damage there. Cabal Therapy hitting the Mycosynth Lattice. He knew it was there because Karn had wished for it the turn before. Therapy strips it out of hand. And we'll see if Matt even has any more Tormod's crypts left in the sideboard. Tormod's actually lets you exile your own graveyard and then go ahead and get back that Mycosynth Lattice as Karn gets card from exile. Oh, and he was able to keep a Tormod's in the sideboard despite playing against Reanimator. Many players would bring in all of them. Exhume being responded to with Tormod's. And this is looking very, very grim here for Reanimator. Exhume can actually be used effectively versus Tormod's Crypt when you've got a Entomb in hand. If you've got the mana, you can often set it up where you Exhume, they crack the Tormod's Crypt, then you can go ahead and Entomb another giant monster. And since Exhume doesn't target, you'll be able to get that creature back, getting full value out of your Exhume, playing around Tormod's Crypt. But Matt, hamstrung on mana, was not able to find a line like that, and eventually is overrun in the final round here of Legacy FNM from ELD's Time Ball Games. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Ball Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.